very much, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Holdren, thank you for your testimony. Another encouraging aspect of the President's budget that you pointed to in your testimony is a focus on manufacturing innovation, particularly through partnerships between universities, community colleges, and the private sector. In my state of Oregon, we have the Oregon Nanoscience and Microtechnologies Institute, also known as ONAMI, where the University of Oregon, Portland State University, Oregon State University, and other public and private sector partners collaborate to bring innovative ideas to the marketplace. Also important in Oregon are the manufacturing extension partnerships, or MEPs, that you mentioned in your testimony. I recently met with a business that received about $50,000 in MEP funds in partnership with the Oregon MEP. They used that funding to hire 11 new workers who each earn about $60,000. So in this kind of situation, the Federal Government sees a quick return on its investment through tax revenues from these new jobs and from a small company experiencing meaningful growth. So can you talk about the multiplier effect that these types of partnerships, which leverage public funds by pairing them with private funds, have in the context of the Federal budget, and how significant are these programs when we are facing severe budgetary constraints?
Well, I'd start by saying that the great merit of partnerships is to leverage government funds, combining them with private sector funds and in some cases with philanthropic funds to get a much larger impact than the government could ever do alone. But even more important than that is the leveraging of insight, of the combination of the kinds of insights that reside in the private sector with the kinds of capabilities and insights that reside in national laboratories and in government-funded research universities. We have been promoting these kinds of partnerships across a wide range of activities, ranging from STEM education, where we have the Educate to Innovate initiative that raised $750 million in private and philanthropic money, in part to bring practicing scientists, mathematicians, and engineers into classrooms to work with teachers to improve curriculum and to provide role models. But we are also seeing a lot of success in the domains that you discussed, including particularly enabling small business to have access to facilities that enable them to develop new products and services that they would never be able to develop if they didn't have access to these facilities that they're too small to afford on their own. And we see this happening in the nanotech domain, where there are nanotech startups that have been able to use the nanotech facilities of our research universities and our national labs to develop new products, which then create jobs and economic growth going forward. I think it's a terrific model, and I'm delighted that so much of it is working well for Oregon.
Thank you so much. And I want to ask another question as well. On the topic of climate and weather monitoring, I wanted to ask about the enhanced focus on weather priorities. I have some coastal area in my district, and weather monitoring can be key to the livelihood of mariners who rely on data from the National Weather Service when they're preparing to leave the harbor. Recently, NOAA stated that they planned not to repair a monitoring buoy, and I contacted them. The district was very concerned about that. I'm glad that the President's plan to focus on weather issues is highlighted here. To what extent is this renewed focus on weather monitoring a reflection of the growing understanding that global climate change is leading to more severe weather events, as noted by the 2013 National Climate Assessment Draft?
Well, I think you've put your finger on it. We are experiencing more extreme weather of a wide variety of kinds, and that makes it all the more important to be able to predict when and where that extreme weather is going to strike. And that requires, obviously, increased investments in prediction capabilities, ranging from buoys, satellites, other kinds of monitoring stations, to high-speed computing and the models run on high-speed computers in order to be able to translate monitoring data into accurate forecasts. We're putting very heavy emphasis on that because the livelihoods, the economic well-being, and the health of the American people depend on accurate weather forecasts, as you note.
Absolutely. And my time's about to expire. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'll yield back.